yeah guys, you can see electricity place, whatever you call it. I'm just out checking out a new place. Never been here before. I don't know what's this, which way to go, but just gonna go. I'm still testing my Dji Action 2 with the newest firmware. It looks pretty good so far, so we're gonna go in that direction. Yeah, so the Action 2, I was out testing this camera with against the GoPro Hero 10 yesterday in low light, and I was amazed how good the Action 2 was compared to the Hero 10. Much better in low light conditions, and I think that's mainly because of the bigger sensor. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but I was really surprised how good this camera actually was compared to the Action 2, and the sound quality from the Action 2 was much better too. The internal mic, not much better, but a little bit better. So I'm just gonna go in this direction and see. I've never been there before. Always fun to go new places. You can see here Osmo Action. Where I live, you can go across the whole island. It's about 50 kilometers if you go just straight away. So it's many nice trails here. Not that many mountains on Osmo, but a lot of trails. It's always fun to check out new places. The lighting condition isn't perfect now. Starting to get overcast, so and it's supposed to snow a little bit later today, so we will see. It's cold, as you can see. I'm wearing hue, as we call it in Norwegian. So I'm just gonna go a little bit this way and see. Let's go straight away. Yeah, so this is a new place. Looks really nice. The colors are absolutely beautiful now in the autumn, and it surprised me that the Action 2 colors looks much better than the GoPro Hero 10. I think the Hero 10 footage is way too saturated. It's too punchy, and in low light condition like yesterday, it was actually looks strange. It does. Neither of these cameras perform good in low light, of course, but yeah. And just watch out for the flickering and stuff like that on this camera. I know there are some issues with the Action 2 with flickering. It's supposed to be much better. It's shooting in quite high bitrate too, so that can be an issue. I don't know. So let's just walk a little bit this way. I was planning to take up my old Osmo Action to shoot a little bit with that, with exactly the same setting, of course, everything in auto, just to see how the camera performed. I'm not going to do side-by-side footage, but footage so you can compare the difference between them and see. Because I still think that the Osmo Action is still a great camera in 2021. A lot of people are buying all kinds of gear because of what people say on YouTube, but if you have the old Osmo Action, you have a great camera, that's for sure. So I think I'm going to switch to that camera pretty soon so we can see how the footage is. But so far I'm really happy with the Action 2. A lot of people are complaining about it, and of course there are some reason to do that because of yeah, the overheating and the camera module only have 32 gigabyte. That's maybe not that much, but you have to buy additional modules to record for longer periods of time, but then it's not waterproof anymore, so that's not great. But let's see. I'll turn the camera. I'm gonna walk down here. I've never been here before. Looks really nice. I think it's a dead end. Seems to be. That's okay. I'm not gonna hike for too long. And of course, with the Action 2, you have the field of view that are an issue. I totally agree on that. I was hoping that Dji could come up with a linear mode on this camera. This is a nice place. You can see it's the sun is really low on the sky now, so not perfect with this camera, but it's okay. We're shooting in 4K 30 with Rocksteady. All auto, normal color profile. So I think I'm going to take up my old Osmo Action and we're going to see how the footage is. You agree with that? Let's do that. Okay guys, we're now shooting with the old Osmo Action. It's a great camera, I really love this camera. How does it expose? Everything is set to auto and normal color profile. But this camera is still excellent in 2021. If you have this camera, you should be proud of it. It's a great camera, absolutely is. I never had any issues with it. No overheating, no bugs, no files missing, nothing. So let's walk a little bit. I'm shooting in D-warp or standard with this camera. It's an excellent camera. I'm using the GoPro three-leg focus. Okay guys, what do you think about the image on the Osmo Action? I'm using a GoPro tripod, a three-armed tripod. It's a great tripod to use when you're using action camera, because you can get the camera a little bit more away from you. And the Osmo Action doesn't have the field of view as the Hero 10 and the new Action, Dji Action 2. But this camera is still great in 2021. Really good image stabilization. You don't have horizon steady on this camera or anything like that, but as long as you keep the camera pretty still, but you can walk normal with it, stabilization is awesome. The sound quality from this camera isn't as good as the Action 2 and GoPro, but that's okay. This is a soon 3-year-old camera, and this one, Dji launches the Osmo Action back in 2019. I'm pretty sure that GoPro was a little bit afraid, because this was the first camera with a front selfie screen. And I remember when this camera came on the market, I grabbed it straight away, and it has been excellent. But the only thing with this camera, of course, is that you have a pretty small sensor. I think it's the same as the Hero 10 actually, but I never had any issues with this camera. And the image quality is really good. Of course you need to have good lighting condition, but that's the same with every camera. But the new Action 2 and the Pocket 2 has a bigger sensor, and of course are a little bit better in low light. But this camera is all waterproof and excellent, and the battery time on this camera is really good. So I'm really happy with it. No overheating issues, nice colors, so it's a great camera. Let's turn the camera so you can see, and just tap on the on the. Can you see anything with okay, yeah, I have stabilization on. Can you see any jittering? Can you see any vibration on the stabilization? It's low light now, so it can be a little bit difficult for the camera to stabilize the footage. I have a Rocksteady on, so should work. Let's shoot in. I've set the ISO to max 800. How does the colors look? It's pretty dark outside now. Not dark, but it's the middle of the day, but the sun goes down really early here now. Soon winter, and I hate winter. As long as the weather is good, then it's nice, of course. You can see the brown grass, almond blood. The nature is beautiful. How does it expose to the skies? Of course you can tweak the settings and use manual. The image seems to vibrate a little bit. I'm trying to walk as normal as possible, but yeah, that's the way it is when the lighting condition isn't great. And remember, this camera is 3 years old. The last time we got a firmware update on this camera was at the end of 2020, so DJI has done a good job with this camera, tweaking what they can. So yeah, it's a great camera. I think I'm gonna switch to the GoPro maybe. It's the same lighting condition. I'm gonna walk a little bit different way, but then we can see how the image quality is actually between the 3 cameras. I'm not gonna do side by side, maybe some, but I just want you to see the whole image and how the quality is. In 4K 30, of course, with every settings the same. So let's do that. Okay guys, we're now on the GoPro Hero 10 in 4K 30, natural color profile, ISO 800 max, and minimum of course 100. So every settings is exactly the same. The only thing I've done with the GoPro is to adjust the EV comp a little bit. Minus 0.5. It's the same lighting conditions as it was with the other cameras, so we're just gonna see how, if there are a massive difference. I actually think that the Dji Action 2 is a better camera than the GoPro, but that's my opinion. And I like the form factor on the GoPro, no, on the Action 2. But of course the GoPro is a really good camera. But in low light, the test I did yesterday was terrible. So I'm gonna take up my DJI so we can do a little bit of side by side with these 2 cameras, just to see if something was terrible wrong yesterday. Well, I don't think so. So nice to walk outside. And the stabilization is excellent on a GoPro, especially when the lighting condition is good. Here I am. Yeah, I'm shooting in wide now. I usually shoot in linear, but I just want to bring more into the image, and then we have a similar field of view as we have with the Action 2. So I'm soon gonna take up my Action 2 so we can do a comparison between the 2 cameras. Nature is beautiful. So this is just, I just finished work and I just went out straight away because I love to be outside. I think I found a new place to go and hike, so that's good. Always boring to walk the same places. turn the camera. You can see. The only thing on the GoPro sometimes, it seems to adjust the compensation a little bit strange. Remember, everything is at the order now, just because I want to keep it the same. Maybe we can do some tweaking. There's a nice steer. And I'm using my Speed Goat great trail shoes for hiking. Hoka Speed Goat 4. I got a little bit of a cold. This was this nice place. This is great. So I have a little bit of a heavy breathing just because of that. Look at this, guys. Beautiful. God, I love the nature. So let's take up our Action 2 and compare them. Okay guys, we're now on the GoPro Hero 10 and the Action 2. In 4K 30, everything is at exactly the same now. The white balance is set to 5500 and the EV comp is minus 0.3 on the Dji Action 2 and 0.5 on the GoPro Hero 10. So let's see how the image looks. The GoPro is in wide and the Action 2 is in standard D-warp, but the lens is extremely wide, so hopefully it matches a little bit. So let's see how this camera performs now. The lighting condition is pretty good here, but I'm interested to see how the image quality is. And has it been any improvement with the latest update on the Action 2? In low light it surely was much better on the Action 2 versus the Hero 10. So let's walk a little bit. I'm going to turn the camera. I'm going to see how the sound quality is with the Action 2 now. I'm using the screen module. In windy condition, I'm not really happy about the wind cancelling on the Action 2, but it's good enough. Hero 10 has pretty good wind cancelling, but actually I think that the Dji Action 2 is a little bit better when you're only using the camera module. So let's turn these two around so how you can see them. Great cameras. So let's walk and just see how the stabilization is. I'm walking a little bit downwards now. The only thing with the Action 2, especially using, I think it's a little bit more of a premium feel to it, and I think that the GoPro Hero 10 is maybe a little bit more durable and can stand more drops than the Action 2. So that's why I'm using a cage for the Action 2, just to make sure that it's safe. So you can see the lighting condition isn't perfect, but the most important thing for me is how the colors looks. It's much wider on the Dji Action 2 for sure. This is beautiful Norwegian nature. So let's walk down these stairs and walk back to the car. I was planning to do much more testing today, but I've been sitting at home in home office, too much to do at work, so that's the way it is. And it seems to be a little bit colder now in Norway. We're gonna get snow, I think. Some, not much, but the weather is shifting all the time, especially here on the west coast. We don't have those extreme winters here, but it can be. But the weather is changing all the time, especially with icy roads. It was a little bit icy this morning. It was, so that's. I think it's better to drive on snow than ice. That's for sure. So how does the image quality look with these two cameras? The lighting condition isn't great, but it's okay. I'm using the extended battery mode on the GoPro. Seems to be saving a little bit more battery. Maybe they tweaked it a little bit. The Action 2 with the screen module has better. What does the brown grass look like? But in my opinion, the Action 2 footage looks more natural, like it is with my eyes. The GoPro is a little bit too contrasty in my opinion, but that's my opinion. But I still love it. So how is the stabilization? That's important too. The lighting conditions should be okay for these two cameras now. How does the sky look? Probably was a little bit smart to turn down the exposure on the Action 2 a little bit. We're gonna see that. So which camera do you think looks best? The GoPro Hero 10 or the Action 2? And what are you using your camera for? Action sports or just vlogging or whatever? Leave a comment down below. So we go in a little bit, not the greatest lighting conditions now, as you can see. It's a little bit darker, and it seems to be a little bit darker on the Action 2, and I saw that on the footage I took yesterday in low light. By the way, the Action crushes GoPro in low light, that's for sure. But the image looks a little bit darker. Yeah. Let me turn it around. Yeah, so which camera do you prefer? I know that the Action 2 has way better skin tones than the GoPro Hero 10. My skin looks extremely contrasted and a little bit strange on the GoPro. On the Action 2 it looks way more natural, and I can see that my jacket looks normal on the Action 2. But these are both great cameras for sure. But which one to buy? That's the question. If you only have the money to buy one of them, which one? Actually a difficult question. I think that the versatility with the Action 2 is better than the GoPro. The Action 2 is way smaller, and you have that magnetic system that are excellent on a camera. So if I can only choose one camera, for me it would be the Action 2. That's no doubt about it. But that's because of my use. Could be different for you. If you only want an action camera that are made for action sports and that you can use in every situation, maybe the GoPro Hero 10 is better. But if you're living in a Scandinavian country when you have more better lighting condition and worse weather, I actually think that the GoPro Hero, Dji Action 2 is better. And that's because of the versatility and the bigger sensor. So it's better in low light. And it hasn't overheated yet. We're shooting now in 10 minutes. Probably extremely boring to watch. Let's see how this looks. Look at the sky. The footage on the GoPro looks extremely contrasty. It does. Yeah. Gonna be fun to see. Yeah. So it's quite difficult to choose one camera over the other. If you are a GoPro fanboy and you're gonna buy a GoPro camera, and if you have the money, buy the Hero 10 over the Hero 9. If you have the Osmo Action and you don't have the money to upgrade, keep it and don't go for the GoPro Hero 10. I think the Osmo Action is as good as the GoPro. Of course, you have some more choices with the GoPro, that's for sure, but the Osmo Action is still a great camera. So it's not easy to choose one camera over another. That's the way it is. This is a place where they cut up wood from the forest, as you can see. And using a fireplace in Norway is quite normal because of the cold weather and high electricity price, especially now because we are selling electricity to the EU. That's a bad deal for Norway and a great deal for EU. Yeah guys, so let's wrap this up. I just want to thank you so much for watching my videos. It's been so fun to see that I have some growth to my channel. Of course I'm hoping for a little bit more, but it takes time. I think the most important thing is to be consistent and post video often to keep your audience happy, and it's fun. It takes time, but it's fun. So please leave a comment and maybe subscribe to my channel. Aspen J Travel, that's my name. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. And one more thing, is there anything else you want to see me do? I have the GoPro Hero 10, the Action 2, the Osmo Action, the old one, and the Pocket 2, and actually the Sony FDR. So if there's anything you want to see, leave a comment down below. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.